Okay. Zoomity zoom zoom. Still loading, I guess. Yes. Okay. Why am I doing that? I thought I had my videos on. Well, I guess because I'm not playing it. Okay, let me see. Get out of this thing here. If you think about it, give me a thumbs up. That would help. I don't want to share. There. All right now. Okay. View. Speaker. Oh, I've got a multi-speaker feature. Good. So when somebody comes on, I want to play them. Yeah, my hair's still wet. I took a shower. Okay. So how's everybody doing out there? You're doing well. They just turned. We were looking at goats. So I'm on my starting tomorrow morning. It will be my 10th week of carnivore. And what have I noticed? I've noticed just this week I'm getting a teeny bit of energy. Teeny bit. What did I do? Oh, I know. This is like 3 days ago. Let me get this thing off my lap. I suddenly started feeling like doing something, like nothing big, but getting out and straightening things up here and there. I'd go out to do something, and then outside, what did I do? I cleaned something. What was it? Oh, I ordered a sliding rack for under the kitchen sink because I'd noticed that I had a plastic liner down there, and I noticed it was yellow underneath. I knew something had spilled, and I knew I'd spilled, and I didn't spill it. These things had holes in them. I brought them home from Costco, and they had pinholes. Well, one of them I brought home. Oh, hang on. It's Bill. Sorry, Bill. Okay, I'll call him. This is over. Anyway, I had a big jug, one of the old ones. It's a half gallon of Dawn dish soap. And it's the old one that's super concentrated. You used to get from Costco. Now they're like a quart or something there, but this was a big one. Whole thing over time leaked out underneath my kitchen sink. Well, I never get under there. And wouldn't you know, you want to try to clean up something difficult, that stuff, you have to take a spatula and take as much as you can because it suds up so bad. I think it took me a couple hours just to get what was on the front bib of, oh my gosh, it was bad. Anyway, so I knew it was leaking, so I picked it up and put it in something, but it overflowed that. I didn't realize where the leak had to be, it was right on the bottom. So everything wanted that. Anyway, that was Dawn, the Dawn liquids. I had a gallon of lemon fragrance Lysol. It was like you pour it in a bucket, which is just as well because it's so toxic. I was kind of glad that was gone. I just tossed it. I think there was like probably a quarter cup left in the bottom, but that had like a blowout in the bottom of it. I don't know if it ate through it or what, but anyway, that was all over under the sink. And it must have even went fairly slow because it didn't drip down on the floor and there's no lip on my under sink thing. So it must have just fell out and evaporated. But it was a big mess. Got all that cleaned out. And I think that stuff's what caused there was some mold under there, which was weird because I painted it and cleaned it all up and there wasn't any water leaks that I knew of. So anyway, cleaned that up, got it all put together. I let the undersides dry overnight, and I put the rack together, put it under there. I was dragging my feet on that because I hate doing stuff like that because usually it's a bigger pain than you expected. I drilled the pilot holes, got it put in. It's working. It looks good under there. If there is another leak, I should be able to see it quickly. And I've got baskets I bought from the dollar store. I put things in. So anyway, I got that done. And I got thinking the front closet still has my mom and dad's coats in it. I haven't even cleaned it out yet. So I thought, I thought about painting it. And I thought, nope, I'm going to put peel and stick wallpaper in there because if I get tired of it, I can just pull it out instead of repainting. And painting is kind of a pain. A bunch of my paint froze in my office. So it's like, because I was saving paint. I always do because I usually only use like a quarter of it. And that stuff's expensive anymore. So anyway, I bought the wallpaper. Just ordered it a couple hours, maybe an hour ago. Really pretty. My mom probably would have loved it. He had black background with big flowers and butterfly. I'll show it to you. Let me see if I can grab it here. I'll show you what I bought. So anyway, I got that. So I'm doing that. I organized some stuff in the front bedroom, which if I should take before and after. I've already cleaned up half of it. So it's like, it looks like when you go downtown LA and you see all those homeless things. It looks like that. Yeah, it looks like that. So I am feeling a little bit more get up and go. A little bit. Still things I'm putting off, like doing, I just don't like guy stuff. I don't like having to do it, but I know I can do it. It's not hard. It's just usually dirty work, and I hate getting I don't like getting dirt under my fingernails. I don't like getting my hands dirty. It's just, I guess I should buy gloves. Let's see, Amazon. I could buy it on Amazon, which is the devil, and I know that, but I know. And I also bought I bought a scale. Let me see, I closed down my, I think I did, I closed my YouTube, doggone. And I bought, I'll show you what I bought so you can see it. Oops, hold on. So this is peel and stick, and it was on sale. But isn't that pretty? Let me pull this down a little bit. I did take my YouTube, what did I do that for? I'm not sure if it's great, David. These are big. This is not a small pattern. This is a really big pattern. But I really like it. Be prettier if it had like a blue background, but the black is nice. And it isn't a dark closet with no light, but I can put a light up on top. More than light. But I'll show you what it. Let's see, that's that. You can see how big the pattern is. It's big. But I'm gonna do the door, so when you open it up, I'm gonna the closet rod is short. I think it's 2 feet wide. I'm gonna paint that gold. I think this will be pretty. And if I don't like it, yeah. I don't look in the closet all the time, so it's not a big deal. But I think it'll look nice. Let's see, there's another one. Yeah, see, it's a really big pattern. I would never do a whole wall with it. I'd put wainscot up or something. It's just too much, but yeah, I thought it was pretty. Like the up close stuff.
I like the roses.
What's that?
I like the roses. It's pretty.
Aren't they beautiful? Yeah, and I like it's got kind of a pink cast to it too. And the closet, my mom painted it a peach color, so if there is anything showing, the peach will kind of go with it. But I like to see all the birds, the little hummingbird and stuff like that. There's a ladybug. There's a lot of detail in this. And I got to tell you, I went to Home Depot and Lowe's. Oh my gosh, $300 for a roll of wallpaper. It's like, yeah, no, that's not happening. I went to, this is peel and stick, which means it's water resistant. And then when I take my coat off and put it in the closet, it might have some moisture on it, like rain or something. I don't have to worry about that with this stuff. But yeah, it's really pretty. It was 17. Oh, did I put the coupon in it? I think I did. There's a 10% off coupon. So you can get it for 10% off of 18. That's $1.80, I guess. And let's see what else. Oh, I'll show you what else I got. I got this thing. I have a meat slicer, but I cannot find it. I bought it at Harbor Freight years ago. This was expensive. I mean, it was the cheapest one I could find. It was $30 off, $35 off. So it was like $65. And that paid for the wallpaper I bought. So I kind of counted that. But anyway, I got a meat slicer because I want to make some meat chips. And you make it with really thin sliced meat. And it would just be easier to have a meat slicer like this anyway. It'll cut bread, it'll do a bunch of stuff. But there's free returns on it, which I made sure, and free delivery. So anyway, that was my purchase this morning. And since I got I'm doing my scale thing, I definitely am insulin resistant. I think I'm very insulin resistant because it's been 2.5 months, almost 2.5, exactly. Let's see, next Saturday will be 2.5 months since I started carnivore. I gained weight when I got really stressed out about my cat. So stress taxes my insulin levels big time. I was very
NAC?
Did I what?
Do you take any NAC?
I have in the past. I'm out. I need to buy some more. But I was looking up things. I'll have to do that. Thank you for reminding me. Vitamin C, iodine, D3, copper, zinc, of course. Those are things that help because when your hair starts getting gray, it's because it's sucking the nutrients out. And those are some of the nutrients it sucks out. And when you start replenishing B vitamins, you start replenishing those, your hair gets dark again. That's happening to Jill Kay. Her hair is getting dark again. And I know the texture is much improved in a year and a half. But also allulose is supposed to help with insulin resistance, which I was really shocked. But there's a doctor, the bald guy with the freckles, he's the one that talked about it. He says it's really good for insulin. So I've been putting it, which I don't really want sweet stuff right now, but so it's kind of a chore to drink it. But I've been putting it in my coffee in the morning. I was off and I haven't lost any weight. I am right around, I've stopped gaining, which is good. I finally stopped gaining in the past week. So I'm right around between 197 and 200. I've actually haven't gone back down to 197. I'm at 200. I was 199 today, which at least I've stopped gaining, which is good. So, and Jill told me stop trying to eat the maintenance level. She goes, just drop it. Just eat when you're hungry. No, okay, I'll do that. So I'm eating when I'm hungry. I'm not gaining weight anymore. So I know that because I've got the insulin resistance, I don't think that Kelly Hogan deals with that a lot, but I'm pretty sure that's the major problem I've got. And that's what I had when I went on keto. That's why it took me 5 months to lose weight, because I had to apparently get past the food stress, and I might have had stress things going on at the time. I'm not really stressed right now, other than getting my lawn mowed. That's not really a stress. I've got the stuff to fix it more now.
What is allulose? I've never heard of that before.
It's a natural sweetener, and it's like a cup of sugar. It's like 3/4 of a cup, so it's slightly less, a quarter less sweet as sugar. But I've used it for several years in my baking, and like if I make something sweet, or I'm just not into sweet stuff now. The Carnivore's really cut that out. Even though I get a little bit stressed, I don't crave sweet, so that's good. But I would use it as a sweetener and if you use it in keto baking, it'll keep your baked goods from getting hard, and it'll help them brown. Like when I make creme brulee, which I haven't made since I started this. I made it on Easter, and that's the last time I made it. But if you were going to do that and you were carnivore or keto, as a sweetener, and it will brown when you put it under heat. So it'll caramelize. You can make caramel with it, all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty good, and it doesn't spike your blood sugar. Though I did watch somebody that said for some people the taste of sweet will spike their insulin. I thought, well, isn't that just mean? Why would that? But it's apparently true, and I might be one of those. I don't know. That's why I'm kind of reticent to use the allulose, but I'm trying to get that insulin. So it's kind of a catch-22. If I taste the sweet allulose, is that going to spike my blood sugar or my insulin? But the allulose itself will push it down. So is it just like oh no, I'm not sure what to think. So I'm just trying it out. Like a lot of people I've found with carnivore, they experiment. After the first few weeks, you start experimenting a lot to see what's going to work. Because the first month I did it, I was at maintenance weight level. That's the calories I took in, was maintenance. More calories than I've ever eaten in my life, probably 3 or 4 days worth of calories for me, and I just never ate enough. And I kind of knew that. Was afraid to gain weight if I ate any more. So I didn't. So I started up with with carnivore, eating 1,600 calories a day. And
if I try now, I've been trying, and it's crazy. I hope you get a lot better. I hope everything, so you're not so stressed out. I hope it helps.
Well, food stresses. I mean, that's when I first started keto. Actually, the second time I started keto, when I finally got on it and stayed on it, that was the big thing I noticed, is that how much stress the food was putting. I just was shocked to find out food is such a stress on the body. It blew my mind, because when I went on keto and I stopped the sugar and I stopped the grain, which were carbs, of course, within days, all of a sudden, I was able to handle stress like I hadn't handled in years. And I was under a lot of stress at the time with that stupid executor. And I noticed that I was able to actually get into my email. I was able to answer the phone, didn't bother me a bit. Where before I would just like, oh my God, oh my God, it's her. I can't touch my phone. I can't look at it. Was crazy how bad it was. But the food was not helping beyond her stress, the mental stress. The food was the big thing. So I'm thinking, wow, so sugar and carbs, and it's not normal, I think, to be like that. I think it's the toxins. I honestly think the toxins play probably 90% of the damage that food does to us. It is literally a toxin. Like if you're going to eat, say, if you're going to drink turpentine or strychnine or something, if you did it long enough, eventually it builds up in the system and it'll kill you. That's what's happening with people. So if you have a lot of stress, it helps to get rid of those things because your brain will be able to handle that stress better because the food itself is stressing. And that's a really important thing for people to know. I need to pull up my, hang on, I got to pull up my YouTube. I think I closed it. Yeah, I did. I
One
did.
thing I notice when I eat, 8 out of 10 times it'll make my pain level go higher. It's like
Yes,
for your body to digest food. It sets
yes,
off
it
my
will. You're right. Yeah, I've noticed like if I bought some olive oil at Costco because some people are doing the olive oil thing. They're one guy, I think it was the bald guy was talking. I says olive oil is okay. He says it's actually good for you. It's not like the seed oils. Okay, so I'll try that. Um, so I made some olive oil mayonnaise yesterday, and I'm not positive, but it seems like this thumb here is starting to hurt. I've got a little bit of pain in that. And if that's so, they probably adulterated the olive oil with a seed oil, the cheap seed oil, which is what they do. Sometimes they'll do that, but I did buy it at Costco. Okay, I want to go to my channel. So it's kind of interesting that that happens. It seems like I'm back here there. Oh, hey, everybody, Eunice. Hi, Pink Panther. Jill K, yay! I've forgotten. I shut down my. I'm so used to doing it during Bible study. I want to see who's out there. Oh, thanks for all the thumbs up, you guys. Appreciate that. Free Spirit. Oh yeah, don't get Jill riled up. Don't get her upset. Uh, Eunice, it says, is your experience typical for going straight to carnivore with insulin resistant people? Usually, I think they do keto. They go keto first, which is what I did. Keto's I mean, it's not as simple as carnivore, but it's way easier to do because you have more food options. But over time, I found that the food I was eating would make even keto food because it's got toxins sprayed on it or whatever. It just, let's see. Free Spirit has his eye on you. He used to love Klondike bars. You didn't like allulose? It made my mom's tummy go up. You know what? If you're going to do allulose, do it with food. Don't do it like if I just put it in tea, I'll be hitting the back for like a half hour. It gives me the runs really bad. So, and so did all the like erythritol, all those gave me. But if I put it like with cream and coffee, doesn't bother me as long as it's got some kind of like cream's pretty heavy, some kind of a solid thing to help. Otherwise, it'll go right through you process it really fast. The good thing is about doing that is it is has an antibacterial agent to it, a natural antibacterial. So when you do go, it cleans you out. Cleans you out pretty good. Let's see. It didn't help my glucose as I checked it, as I've got a glucometer. Everyone is different. Yes. Yes, checking your blood sugar helps you. Yes, Jill. And I thought, well, I'll make some mayo, and if it affects me, then I'll just take the olive oil back. Klondike bars were a thing for me 20 years ago. So expensive. So glad I saw. You can make your own. I mean, if you're gonna go ketovore, a lot of people do go keto. I was ketovore before I started because I started out keto, where you can have specific low carb greens like celery. You can have green beans. You can have radishes. There's a lot of things you can have that are super low carb. You just have to keep your carbs under 20 a day, right? And I didn't do total. I went net. And for me, maybe I need to do total because that's a lot lower. But anyway, you could do that. And you can have a 1/4 cup of berries a day if your carbs are low enough. God bless and keep you too, Reality. Thanks for being with us. There she goes. She's gone. Anyway, and I noticed that, well, when kitty cat, when he disappeared, I went through that probably one of the most stressful times of my life, trying to find the little guy. I didn't know where he was, didn't know if somebody stole him. I didn't know if he was killed, carted off. I never found blood, never found hair, but I walked for months. I walked around looking for him. I put up posters. It was tough. And I was very distraught over that. And I'd see his stuff in the house and excuse me, I'd see his things in the house and it'd get me thinking about it again. And it wasn't until I started Carnivore. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see the hair on that? Hoss touched it. He touched it. See all the hair? Good gravy. It's still got ice in it from last night and hair from God knows when. Anyway, that stress is when I started. It took me a while to think about it. I thought, when did I start gaining weight and why? It was the stress from that. And the weird thing is that stress is over, but I'm still retaining the weight that I gained. Plus with the carnivore, I got to tell you, it was a stress going on that because I was worried about not eating enough and then trying to get it all stuffed in. At almost 2.5 months, I'm still not used to eating that much. So like Jill said last week, she goes, just eat when you're hungry. Just eat when you're hungry. Don't worry about it. So that's what I'm doing. And I kind of upped my bacon because I usually have like 2 pieces of bacon and 2 eggs in the morning. I did go back to eating. I had 3 bacon today and 2 eggs. So I figured that'll keep me full, give me some good fat and calories until this afternoon when I eat. And I'll probably be having a piece of steak with butter or something to boost up the fat. But I did go back to eating, and that took a lot of stress off, by the way. But I did go back to eating dairy. I had something else that might not be the mayo that was causing a problem. I went back to dairy, and I had cream cheese yesterday. I made some no-bake cheesecake, which I don't put the base in. I just have the mix. And excuse me, that might be the problem because I do have a little. If I push on there, the spot it's a little bit tender when I push in the right spot. I notice I can do this and I can feel the tendon here. So I'm getting some inflammation. It's either from the cream cheese or from the olive oil. My guess is it's probably the olive oil. Yeah, they mix olive oil and they mix other oils too. My neighbors have 2 hairless cats. Strange looking that they love them because they don't have to clean much. Yeah, Jill, yes, exactly. Because that was just way too much food for me, especially lifelong. I've never, like I said, ever in my life eaten that much. I might have a day when I went to an all you could eat and I was missing ghrelin. I never got full. I just watched other people when they put their fork down, I put my fork down because I never got full. Literally could eat and it was probably stacking up my throat. I just never had that. And that was back when I was probably a size 7. But at home, I just always had the same thing, like a can of green beans drained out with some vinegar on it. I don't know. I just had a very minimal amount of food that I ate. But I once in a while would crave sugar, probably when I was really stressing out or something. But I never was a big sugar eater, thank goodness. My mom was, but I wasn't, thank goodness. Yeah. So anyway, I'm eating around 1,200 calories a day, I think, which for me is a lot. I mean, it's 400 less than I was eating for the last 2 months. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, so I'm not gaining weight right now, which is a good thing. I'm just trying to figure out what I can do. I stopped. Okay, I did not get back on the stevia yet. I haven't because I went off of dairy for a month, and that's the month that I did the reverse diet. Kept gaining and gaining and gaining. It wasn't a lot of weight, but I was gaining. So my clothes are still tight. My underwear is so tight it's almost uncomfortable. So and these are my fat underwear. This is the fattest I've ever been in my life, I think. So, but it should be easy to figure out. I just never used a scale. I always went by how my clothes fit to know, okay, I'm losing weight. Because I didn't really care about the numbers so much as long as I liked how I looked. But I know that when I got on keto and lost the weight, all this stuff went away. All went, well, look at I'm one of those people, I put weight on everywhere, probably even my forehead. Um, I can't use the needle. I can't use one of those pricker things. Yeah, the ones that you put on your body that did the sensors, those are stinking expensive. I was gonna get one. I thought it only lasts 2 weeks and it costs $100. Are you get out of here? But I literally had to have my ex to get blood. I was trying to get blood for a vitamin D and a thyroid uh, spot test, and my blood was so thick that he couldn't. I had him poke. There's a vein right here that they put your IV in when you go to the hospital. Now look at, you can see my arm here. See this? That's the that lump there. That is the lipedema, which also receded when I was on keto. I think that is stress caused, honestly, because when I started finally losing weight on keto, all that stuff started going away. I didn't have the lump right here. This is slightly going away. There's still a bit of a lump there, but not like it was. So the stuff is trying to resolve. It's turning into normal fat, I think, instead. So yeah, a lot of people are using the glucose sensors, which if somebody sponsored me, man, I'd be all over that. I've never, because when I couldn't use the razor, and why? Something I didn't get in high school and I still don't get today. Why would they tell you to poke your finger? Dirtiest spot on your body, practically, besides your feet. And poking yourself, why don't they tell you to poke in a non-sensitive spot, like right here or right here? Find a spot that's not sensitive. Your fingertips are one of the most sensitive spots on your entire body, and they tell you to shove a razor into it. No, the blood's the same. You can, you don't have to. If see, I've been doing keto. I wasn't eating carbs. Basically, there are days when I actually was carnivore. If you're not eating carbs, you shouldn't have blood sugar. And that's what I always thought, but that's not true because our dastardly little livers can pump out glucose. Morning glucose apparently is a big one. That same doctor, gosh, can't remember his name. He said to take a couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before you go to bed. It will help keep that liver glucose down. If it starts to try and pump it out, I don't know why it would work that way. I'm not sure what it is, but he said that will help suppress the morning glucose spikes that the liver does. I'll find out. I'm doing a little bit of everything. I'm doing his allulose. I did last night and I did it again when I ate this morning. I took a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water. You use fish oil with DHA and lutein, zeaxanthin. Those are all good. Zeaxanthin's good for your eyes too. You know what made me bleed was taking D3 because I was so low in D3. When I started taking the D3, now if the cat scratches me, I get blood. But before, he literally took a razor and punctured that vein right there. And it barely had a bead of blood on it, and it was black. That's how thick my blood used to be, and I go up and down with blood pressure too. Maybe it ferments your liver. I do think the apple cider vinegar helps with fatty liver. They've claimed it does, but I've been doing that, and I don't mind apple cider vinegar, so I do take it. And I do when I remember to. I always take my vitamins with food. There are very few that you don't take with food, but like I forgot to do it when I ate this morning. But you're losing and feeling awesome. No need to check your blood. Exactly. It's great measurement to figure out what's wrong. Yeah, if you want to see if your glucose is high, then something, and it can be just stress causing it. You might get too cold or too hot. That'll spike your glucose. Everything spikes your glucose. Yes, breathing spikes your glucose practically. Yeah, so you get little spikes here and there. But I do know that the benefits I've been getting from being carnivore, so I know it's working, is that the sleep. Everybody talks about the sleep, and it's absolutely, I think, second day. Of course, remember, I'm not a normal carnivore person because I was doing keto for like 8 years. And so when I quit keto and went carnivore, it was just stopping eating a few vegetables that I'd been eating. I wasn't eating fruit. I wasn't eating anything sweet. So it was, for me, the transition was easy. And the sleep came right away. But other people are saying the same thing, that they started carnivore and they couldn't believe how good the sleep is. Now, I do notice, like right now, I can feel tightness around my lower calves. It's not my ankles, but it's around my lower calves, which is really weird. And I've noticed the last couple of weeks I've been feeling that when I sit down. That's probably just a water thing. I don't know. But yeah, you'll sleep really well on this. I've had 2 nights in the past almost 2.5 months. I didn't sleep. I can't remember why the one night. I had something on my mind, I think. That's hard for me to shut down. Yeah, but yeah, if you're losing a little bit, and sometimes you might lose a lot, you might lose a little at first. It depends. Different people are different. But for me, because I was doing the keto and still gaining the weight, there's some odd things going on in my system. So I do think I've got super high insulin resistance, or else and I think it's just going to take me longer to get that insulin resistance down. And it may be 5 months before I lose weight on this. I don't know. I was hoping it wouldn't because I was already keto, but you know, we'll see. It's very frustrating though not to see that. But I did, like I said, I've got better clarity of thought. For about the first month and a half, I had a horrible taste in my mouth when I woke up. Horrible. It was like metallic and it was weird, like danky, weird taste in my mouth. And I don't know, I still don't know what it was. Processing something out maybe, but let's see. My heat and cold tolerance, not so good yet. I have days. Like this morning, I was freezing. It was 71 in here, and I had to start a fire. It was too cold. Chasing the baby goats. They all went back to their cage. They're happy over there. I think what the deal was with them, they were just excited to see something new and go bust up a bunch of stuff. And then leave. As a matter of fact, after I'm done here, I gotta go out and clean up that mess. Jars, glass jars, all over out there. Oh, what a mess. I gotta go get a pan and scrape it all up and throw it away and then spray off the thing. And it's raining, so that's a good thing. It'll keep it moist enough that it doesn't dry up. But the little baby goats and the mama are over there in their pen, back where they're comfortable, I guess. But you drank 1 glass of wine after 3 years without, tastes good, but crappy sleep. It's the sugar. Yeah. Well, it's good to know. It's the sulfites probably in it, and the sugar. If you are tempted to eat something you're not supposed to, eat it in the morning because that gives the sugar a chance to cycle out of your system. Even when you watch people that can't sleep, they're having sugary stuff in the afternoon. And it's an excitotoxin that keeps your brain going, firing off, and you go to bed and you think you're going to sleep. That's not going to happen most of the time. Or if you do, you'll wake up again. And it causes stress on the system. Let's see. So what else? So I got the clarity of thought. I've got the little bit of energy coming in, which is good. Just pulling stuff out from under my sink is a monumental issue. And when you're low thyroid, that's typical. Just getting your boots on, going out and checking the mailbox, which is like 50 feet down your driveway, is like a monumental task, and you don't have energy. It's a mitochondrial thing. Your mitochondria don't have the energy. They're damaged. And for a normal person, they don't even think about having to do it. They just get up and do it. I remember when I was feeling really good on keto, something else I was doing, I can't remember what it was, something I was taking. And I wasn't even having to think about doing. I was just, rather than sitting here thinking about doing something, it's like I was already up doing it. It didn't even occur to me to think about it. I did have 2 days this week where it was kind of like that. But like, as I said, cleaning out underneath the sink, which normally would be like, oh God, it would take me a week to do it. I got it done in probably several hours, and I was like, thank God that's done. And then I thought, oh, I got that closet I got to clean out. Like I said, still got stuff. I've never even looked in the top shelf of it to see what's in there. I got to get up on a ladder and get inside there. But I thought, nope, I'm going to take care of that. I want to get that done. And when I'm done with that, I've got a closet in the kitchen. That's the reason I haven't got into that was because it's still got mouse crap in it. It's just one of those doors I keep shut. I got to get in there and scrape that out and sanitize it and then get a liner in that too. So it's like I'm thinking about doing it, which before was like, no, I don't want to think about it. Don't want to do it. So now it's getting to where I've got some mental energy, which is good. Goat pellets are not fun to clean up. Brother had a pet goat, but mom got rid of it after 6 months. He was upset. Oh, the goat met the kids at the bus stop. Yeah, the lady that has them, She said they're as smart as a dog, and I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. The babies have super soft, shiny hair, but the mom has really rough, kind of like they're like big deer is what they are. Because deer are like goats; they'll eat anything. But the pellets, I expect they'll just mush into the ground. They're out in the back southeast corner of the property where I never go. So right now, they're okay over there. That's where they're hanging out. I've got to get back to journaling. Oh, that's why I'm doing this, Eunice. This is my journal. Because I kid you not, I could have a journal. Well, when's the last time I wrote in this thing? Oh, I need to write on this today. This is my journal as far as it gets. This starts with this is my first day, this is my second day. This is as good as it gets. And this is a week. This isn't today, this is a week. That's me. And I think I forgot to write in it already. Sixth week, yes, I forgot to write in it. Where did I go? Maybe I didn't. Hang on. This is a journal thing from 2019, by the way, and I'm finally using it. Nope, I did some. Must be from last week. Did I? Oh, I did. Oh, so I'm starting my 10th week. Cool. This is my 10th week I'm starting. I thought it was my 9th. So I'm starting my 10th week. And I know that Dr. Elaine Bright said that some people don't start losing until the 10 and a half week mark. I'm not sure why it's 10 and a half weeks. So maybe next week I'll start losing weight. That'd be awesome. Because for me, weight loss is the earmark of health. Because when it's really hard to lose weight, if you do, you know something has changed. Because I could drop my calories. I mean, I remember an HCG diet I went on. I was down to 350 calories a day before I could lose weight. And they're doing studies. They found a group of kids that had a doctor had brain surgery, and it damaged. I can't remember the part of their brain it damaged. And all these kids grew up. They went from like 70 pounds to 370 pounds. They looked massive because of this damage thing in their brain. And when they fixed it, I'm trying to think what they did. Losing my train of thought here. Anyway, they came down. They couldn't lose weight. That's what it was. The point was that they put them on a 500-day calorie diet, and they were still gaining. They were gaining weight. And he said that there's some people that has that switch is not turning off like it's supposed to. Like these kids, their switch wasn't turning off. And so their body was piling on the weight, which you would think is physically impossible when you're only bringing in 500 calories to blow up like a balloon. But there are some people like that. And doctors have been trained calories in, calories out, which obviously is not true. I hate journaling as a passion-free spirit. I absolutely hate it. People that do it, they love it. I read back it and I get embarrassed. It's like, oh my God, I thought that. Ugh. Was I that dumb or was I that weird? Yeah, I'm throwing it away. So yeah, I tried when I was a kid and I couldn't do it. And I tried when I was an adult and I couldn't do it. It's like, yeah, I'm more of a live in the moment type person anyway. That's my personality type. So past stuff, other than looking at improvements, like that's what this is for. I'm writing down the improvements week by week. Yeah, go gaining weight. I'm doing my fast. I'm doing fasts once a week because that's also another experiment. I've done 2. I'll be doing my next one, I think tomorrow. I think Sunday is when I do. So I've been doing fast because sometimes that forces your body, forces your insulin resistance to behave over time. So I thought I'm going to fast once a week. The last time I was going to do 24, and I made it 22. I don't know why. I wanted to eat. I wanted to eat really bad, and I thought, okay, maybe tomorrow will be all right. But I eat late in the day, or early in the afternoon. I'll eat my big meal and get really stuffed at 4 o'clock. And so the next day, when I'm over my fast at 4 o'clock, I'm not super ravenously hungry by that time if I'm going to get hungry. Yeah, absolutely, free spirit. Yeah, because yes, low weight loss can be hormonal. And remember your adrenals, if you got a belly on you, that's a hormone. That's a hormone issue. Usually it's estrogen, but if it's tied in with the cortisol from stress, right? Your Cortisol is your stress hormone. And if you, like me, high stress all the time, it burns it out. So it's like, it just is messed up. It's just amazing how hormones screw up the things. But those kids that were gaining weight, that was a hormone thing. It was a hormone in the brain that stopped the switch from going off for when they were full, even though, and it was all associated, even though they weren't eating a lot. It's just a strange way. God's are fearfully and wonderfully made. But slow weight loss is always a hormone. And when your adrenals are messed up, it takes out your thyroid. Your adrenals protect your body. They're like the guard at the gate that keeps the enemy out. And they think they're doing a good, which they are, they're doing a good job by blocking the absorption. You could be putting out thyroid hormones. Your blood tests will come up perfectly normal because you've got the hormones, but the adrenals, which they're not taught anything about anymore in school, they don't want the doctors knowing about them. The adrenals will stop the thyroid hormone from going into the cells, and other hormones will block it. So you start presenting low thyroid symptoms. One of them is rapid weight gain and very slow, almost impossible weight loss. And that's typical. Insensitivity or sensitivity to heat and cold, memory problems, migraines, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, stomach issues, digestion issues, all kinds of stuff totally in that. Now, liposuction is not good because when you you suck out those fat cells, your body will make the fat cells elsewhere start getting big. Like if you get it sucked out of your butt and your leg, guess what's going to happen to your arms? You're going to start, your body's going to put that weight on. It wants that weight on there. And insulin is a hormone. Yeah, absolutely, yes. So with adrenal issues, that's a stress issue. And how many people today are not stressed? I mean, you got to be almost mentally ill to not be stressed about anything. That's crazy. So you have to, the food causes stress. When you're eating toxic food, it puts a huge stress load on your body. And if you've got mental issues going on, like family problems or loss of a pet or a family member or birds that won't pipe down, that stress level goes up and the cortisol starts pumping out and you start putting on weight. And the weight comes on to protect your body. Like I said before, if you break your hand, like I slammed my thumb in the door years ago and it was shattered. The bone was shattered and my whole hand swelled up clear up to here. That was my body trying to protect that spot that got damaged. It knows that something happened and it's putting that mush, that padding on there, the liquid, to protect. If something happens again, it'll help put a pad there so it doesn't get severely hurt again. That's a logical thing. The body's trying to protect you. So when you're like me, got all this weight, my body senses a stress, it senses danger, and so it's putting this on thinking it might be a physical danger and it's protecting me. And quite often you'll see it around the middle. That's definitely a cortisol issue. It ties into when the cortisol's messed up, all the hormones are messed up. The cortisol just kind of takes them and throws them out the window. So you've got estrogen problems with the belly. Wheat, grains will prevent you from secreting out excess estrogen, which will put a belly on you. So remember Wheat Belly, the book Wheat Belly? That's what that was about. That's a very brief Cliff's Notes. If we wore blinders or rose-colored glasses, life would be less stressful. Yeah, true. But I'd rather know the truth, even though I'm fat from it. But an influencer on YouTube got her arms and tummy done while she was on GLP-1. Her thighs are huge now when they looked average before. Yes, the body knows what to do. Yeah, you can't fight it. It's like you can't fight City Hall. If your body wants fat on it, you're going to get fat. And they even talked about some people that have certain people have cells that will put fat, like you'll have, say, 50 cells, pretend, 50 cells in your whole body. Well, it'll start making those cells bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger when you get stress or extra calories, and it'll want to put stuff in there. There are other people who their fat cells can only get so big, and so they'll start making new ones. And then you just get, yeah, it's one of those things. So it's like you can't win. You have to take care of that stress. And nowadays, with all the toxins in the food, you got to eat properly. And I may, let's see, for me, I'm not losing weight. At some point, I expect to. Where do I go from here? Back to eating a regular diet that'd make me like 800 pounds? I don't think so. So I'm kind of stuck with carnivore, ketovore. I'm stuck. There's nothing nowhere I can go from here. So what am I going to do? I do think, I think there's a reason that I am like this, because other people need to know at some point in the future, when this all gets repaired, that my body finally starts figuring it out and starts doing what it needs to do, and I can start losing the weight, then I can share that. And where not everybody's like this. Most people just magically lose weight. Ta-da, the angels sing and their body looks great. And they just get there fast and they feel wonderful. They got tons of energy. That's not me. That isn't me. And I know there are other people like me out there that have been searching for many decades to find out why. I gave up for a while. I was just so disgusted. So there's no answer. I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life, and I could literally starve, and I would starve myself into a fat death. It's just the way, and I was very dejected about that. I'm very pissed off that there was nothing I could do. And then I found keto. That's the first time I wasn't on many diets in my life. I think when I was 14, I had to go on a hypoglycemic diet. And then I did the HCG diet, which was stupid. And I did it wasn't Weight Watchers, it was a different one. But I gained weight on that one. And the lady said, "You just gotta quit eating." I said, "I'm not eating." The food she had me eating was making me fat. And it's like, and that's back when I was working my butt off every day, when I was like 23, very young. So I've been on like 3 diets in my whole life. So I haven't damaged myself too bad. I think that HCG diet probably did a number on me a little bit, but it's just how I've always been. It was stress. I remember when I was a kid, I don't remember, I think my mom and dad were going through some kind of weird problems. And I'm very sensitive to weird stuff around me. It's like, I pick up like radar, things, tensions around me and stuff. And I remember I gained weight. I didn't know I had. I just knew that I was wearing shorts my mom made me. They were a stretch material. And the seams were starting to like pull apart. And I think I was like 9 or 10. I remember she walked up to me and she goes, "You're fat," and put her finger on the top of just above my kneecap and was pushing. She goes, "I can't even feel your bone," when she couldn't. But I remember, I'll never forget her doing that, thinking, "Oh," because I never looked at myself. I didn't know I was fat. I just knew I was getting big. I mean, like growing. Didn't think about it. But that was from stress. And looking back on it, it was the stress of being in the house. Plus, we were abused kids, getting the crap beat out of us all the time. But for some reason, my body really picked up on that. So I've always had problems with it. So let's see. The influencer got off of GLP-1 and still eats the same, so she gained back weight in another area. Life lessons are hard. Yeah, and physiology. And we're still learning. I mean, think about it. We're still learning about this stuff. And it's more the doctors figuring out it. It's the people doing these things. Like I said, people that are doing carnivore, almost all of them have already done keto. What do you think, Jill? Maybe 80-90% of people on carnivore did keto to start out with. You're a rare exception. You started naturally because you'd had physical problems from a medicine you were on, and you're a rare exception of that. But I think most people, or they come from vegan. They're eating no meat. There's a lot of people doing this that have been through the no meat, vegetarian people. Protective padding, pretty much, yes. GLP-1. I think that doctor said allulose acts like GLP-1 in the body. I don't know how much to take. I'm just taking a couple teaspoons in the morning in my coffee. I don't know how much it takes. But on carnivore, it's hard to have sweet stuff because it's meat. I don't put sugar on my meat. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yes, vegan or keto. Exactly. That's how most people get here, is one extreme to the other. So, but I think most of the ones I've seen have come from keto. But you, Kelly Hogan, there were a few that were just eating regular stuff. And also just cutting out the sugary drinks can make a big difference in a person's feel and weight. But yeah, so anyway, with the uh, carnivore stuff. It's okay. It's like one thing I do like about it is I'm not tempted to snack. I mean, I'm full, but even when I'm getting a little bit hungry, I don't feel like eating a snack. And I start getting a little hungry. I think, oh, I guess I should eat my dinner and get it over with. Because I like getting it over. I don't like to eat, so it's nice to get it over with, so I can just go on about my day and do whatever. But I don't have that needing a snack thing, which is a pick-me-up type thing. What your body's doing is needing a little bit of fuel. And with carnivore and keto, you stop burning sugar for fuel. You burn fat for fuel. So when you were burning sugar for fuel, that sugar intake, what you ate, like say French fries, a burger and French fries or whatever, that was the glucose dump in your body, and your body would use that for energy to get through your day and do what you had to do. Any excess would go into fat for most people, not everybody, but sometimes. So anyway, when you're doing carnivore or keto, you're not eating carbs. So once your body adjusts and gets adjusted to the way you're eating, because you're not bringing in carbs, all that's left to burn is fat, right? So it's what you're eating. It'll go through what you're eating first, and then process. If once that's all used, then it will start using the fat on your body. And most people, I am not one of those people. I don't know where my body's getting any energy from, but it's not me burning fat, obviously, or I'd be losing weight. But 99% of people, that's how it works. I have a feeling that when I get hungry, instead of kicking into fat burning, it just kicks up, my liver starts kicking out glucose and my body starts burning the glucose. Yeah, I don't know where the liver is finding glucose, but it's finding glucose. It makes it. So I'm not sure, it must take a lot less energy to manufacture glucose. That's like one of those questions. You have a question like that and you start thinking, okay, what can I do to see if I can change that? And so that's where the vinegar, apple cider vinegar comes in, the allulose comes in. Not eating dairy, or not drinking coffee, drinking coffee. The school of thought is generally, I think, if you cut all that out, which I did, I cut out coffee, I cut out all sweets, everything, all sweets were gone, dairy, and it made it extremely difficult for me to get enough calories. But I cut that out for a month, and it didn't make a difference for me. No difference whatsoever. There was no difference how my clothes fit, no difference in energy level. It was like I didn't do it. So last week I started doing it again. No difference. No weight loss, no weight gain. My body's just doing what it wants to do. Low carb, let's see. Low carb family or friends can be irritating for them. Yeah, it can be. When I was strict, they would give me dirty looks when I wouldn't eat their treats, but I got used to it. Well, you know what? It is true, but they need to understand, Sam, look, I'm trying to get healthy. Why would you not want me to be healthy? And kind of put it back on them. They don't realize that a lot of people don't get the ill health kickback that you and I might get. Like if I ate seed oil, like if I had mayonnaise with regular seed oils, my thumbs start popping out of joint. I can't sleep. I get acid reflux. I swell up. What else? There's a lot of things that happen to me and it's like, why do you want me to feel like that? I mean, if their hands were dislocating, do you think they would actually be saying, oh, come on, eat the food so we can all dislocate together? They don't understand that what you're doing. And eventually it will catch up with them. They will get insulin resistance, and they may already have it. They said, 90% of Americans have insulin resistance? And I didn't know it till 2 weeks ago. I had no clue until I saw what the symptoms were. It's like, duh. And I'd had this, remember I had the psoriasis for years. I had a couple of years. Got rid of it with the high dose of D3, but I noticed there were spots of my body that weren't healing up. I thought, why is that still? I thought it was a psoriasis. I didn't know. And it turns out, no, it's a blatant symptom of insulin resistance. Years ago, when I found out about it, when I had those same areas, it was cortisol. It was low cortisol. And it's like, well, guess what? They're the same. Low cortisol and insulin resistance go together because they have the same symptoms. I didn't realize it because I thought when I figured out what because I've got like my whole scalp is peeling. It's like and I can feel what it is. It's like with psoriasis, your skin cells replicate. It's an autoimmune system thing. Your skin cells will replicate, and so it stacks. It's like instead of having one layer of skin once a week, you get a little thin layer of skin once a week. That's our replenishment thing. You might get 4 or 5 layers, pop, 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 pop. And I thought it was an allergy type thing, but my whole scalp was like that, right? And I could actually feel it. It would prickle. I could feel the skin growing there. And I could actually find bumps on my head where this stuff was growing. And it's still like that, right? I thought that was part of the psoriasis, but it's not. And then around my ears, it peels. It does the same thing around my ears and on the back of my neck and under my arm and my belly button and the creases of my legs. Guess what? That's all insulin resistance symptoms. And I've had these for 2 years. Not a freaking clue. And I watched Dr. Boz. So you watch enough of these videos, you get answers. You'll pick them here and there, and here and there, and you'll find out, that's what it is. It's not just low cortisol. Low cortisol is a symptom, I think, of insulin resistance. Part of it because of the stress, right? And stress causes insulin resistance. Gee, put it all together. So that's what I would like to see at some point is having a list of black and white list so people can look at it and say, oh, yep, got it. I got it. Now I know what to do. It is insulin resistance. Now I have to focus on figuring out how to get rid of the insulin resistance. And even though I'm not eating sugar and I'm not eating carbs, my body has insulin resistance. Yeah, last year, I'll bet, because I go off my diet once in a while. I'm not off. I was always keto, but I'd eat something I shouldn't. Probably 6 times last year. I ate things I wasn't supposed to eat. Still have insulin resistance. From a unique bird, free spirit. Well, I thought about that. Thank you. That's a compliment, really. Free spirit said, God made you to be a most interesting specimen. Hi, Teresa. How are you doing? Good to see you out there. Yes, the vitamin D and thyroid go hand in hand, Eunice. They do. She says, when I was super heavy, my thyroid and vitamin D were so low. I didn't have any idea until I got better after blood work revealed it. So what Dr. Berg is saying that you can have massively high D levels in your system of D3 and it's not going to hurt you unless it is so high. There's but nobody is, I've done a lot of research. I can't find anyone who's ever OD'd on vitamin D3. There was a lady taking 250,000 units a day for years, and then she finally got the flu. They figured it was the D3, so she cut down on her D3, and the symptoms went away. Well, what if it was just the flu? Most people on D3 do not get the flu, but who knows? Nobody knows for sure what it was. I'm taking 50,000 units a day, and I'm fine. Some people can't process it from the sun. I think I'm one of them, but I'm not worried about it. I don't remember what time you came on. I just got in the bathtub. Oh, class reunion. We'll have fun, Teresa. I hope you enjoy that. I just come on randomly on Saturdays. I'm not ever sure. I don't have a set time of coming on, but I came on at noon, so I've been on an hour right now. You haven't missed much really, but it's recorded on my channel if you want to watch it later. But yeah, I think God made me like this so I can help other people who are in extreme, because I've been researching thyroid issues for 35, 40 years now. And adrenals for 25 years. And my problem was adrenal, and I didn't want to believe it because I had all the symptoms of hypothyroidism, but I was too stupid to understand that is when your adrenals from stress, and I've had chronic stress all my life, when they go down, it takes thyroid out with it, takes your sex hormones out with it. So you don't have I never had a normal period in my life. Not one ever. Endometriosis. I had PCOS, insulin resistance. That was when I was a teenager. I had insulin resistance clear back then and didn't know it, but that explains why I couldn't lose weight. Taking K2 and D3 for years, good for you. I was around so many people with COVID and never once got sick. The only time I got sick with COVID was when I slacked off taking my D3. Excuse me, I got COVID for 1 day. And my hair fell out. Women, especially women, excuse me, older women, they lose hair from COVID. I don't know what the deal is. And then I guess because your body's trying to fight it with what minerals you have. And the second time I got it, because I lost half my hair the first time I got it for one day, and my hair started falling out. I mean, it was so bad I could walk across the floor and you'd see balls of it rolling up. I plugged up I always brush my hair before I take a shower, and it would plug up my I still was losing hair even after I brushed it. But the second time I got it, I hadn't been taking my D3 for a month. That's when I was getting the house fixed. And I was staying in a motel and I just kept forgetting to take it. So I kind of just got out of the habit of taking it for a month. Then I got it for 2 days and I lost another half of my hair. So first time ever, I could see and it feels so weird touching my head to feel my skull because I always had a big cushion of hair. I used to have super thick hair. And to touch my head, it's a little bit, I think it's kind of fuzzy now. So it's kind of making a padding, but to touch my head with no hair, it felt like I was bald. But yeah, I noticed the top right here on the crown, which is male pattern baldness. So I'm guessing it's tied in with hormones, with testosterone, progesterone stuff, because this is a male pattern baldness area right here and back here. So I don't know. There's a lot of hormone stuff with this, but like Jill said, her hair's getting better and thicker. Looks fantastic. She used to have the picture I saw for, I don't know if it's normal for her, but she had like, see how my hair's all, this is just out of the shower. See how it's all curly? That curl, that wave in the back, it's even worse, is my hair. That's my body sucking nutrients out of my hair because I'm not intaking enough. So it's got to go where it can get them, which is my hair. So I've been pushing on getting my nutrients in. Wow, she lost teeth when she got COVID. Holy cow. But excuse me, yeah. So your hair and your nails. I've noticed something about this is something I need to write down because in the last 2 weeks I've noticed this is the longest my fingernails have been in years. Years. When I was at probably, I'm thinking maybe when I was 21, but I always had to keep nail hardener on them because my nails were so like I could bend them backwards, I could bend them forwards. They were like rubber. My nails were just never, but now they're getting hard and they're not splitting along the side here. I used to get nail splits clear down halfway down on my nail bed. If I got my hands wet, like if I wash dishes and I dried my hands off, my nails would split halfway down and then they would snag on everything and rip down into the nail bed. It was always so miserable, but I'm noticing my nails are getting stronger. So that's a good thing. That is a collagen thing. And I had to quit taking collagen. Now this one's still where I broke my thumb, where the top of that bone was broken. It's weak there. And it's always kind of, when I file it, it's always a weird spot in my nail. But yes, I'm wearing nail polish to help keep them stronger because I hate broken nails. Yes, but I'll show you what I'm using. I bought some of this stuff at a nail art, this stuff here. I tried to find it online and I couldn't find it, but I bought it at a Sally salon. Let's see if you can see that. It's a liquid bandage because my nails were splitting so far down. I put on my nails and try to keep them strong. And if I broke one, I'd try to put on there and kind of like mend it, but it didn't work too good for that. But I bought one at the dollar store that seems to be working. I just put this on before I put my nail polish on. It was $1.25 for this thing. It says super strength, LA colors. And the nail polish I use, just in case you guys need to know, Sally Hansen. It's got a little diamond thing on it. And it's diamond strength. I got this color. I got the pink. Let's see, it's got the little diamond on top. I painted my nails, I think a week and a half ago. And look at that. It's lasting forever, but I put a base of the other thing on. So yeah, I'll put this on. It takes a while to get it off because but I put 2 coats. I'll put 1 coat of the nail strengthener of this stuff on. And I put 2 coats of this. I put the nail strengthener on, let it dry for about an hour, then put a coat of this stuff on, let it dry for about 6 hours or till the next day, and then I put the second coat on. And I'm telling you, it's nice. It's my nails are, I can actually, I don't know if you can see up where it's growing out. See where it's growing out there? It's almost like a gel. But for you ladies that like nice nails, but it's strong. It's helping keep my nails from breaking. I had a few what do you call it, chips. It was like the ends of them were kind of flaking a little bit. So they're not healed up completely because I still have the ridges. I still got ridges that go this way. And that's a lack of something. I can't remember what, I think it's a B vitamin. I haven't been very stringent with my B vitamins lately, and I need to get back on a good regimen of that. But the cross ones that go this way, the ones that go like, you can see them going this way, you'll see ridges this way. That, I learned that years ago, that is, if you've had a mental issue or a severe loss or trauma, you'll get a dent. All your nails will have a dent in them, all the way in the same areas. So you can tell when there's been a problem. And I can tell when people have lost somebody, like especially when they're older, if they've lost a loved one, their hair will start coming in gray, and you'll see on top where it's coming out. I noticed it on the gal that does the homestead show that I like. She lost her mom last year, the year before, and I noticed all of a sudden her hair was coming in gray, and you could actually see the line of it. And so I can tell by looking at some, if they got 6 inches of hair growth out that suddenly they're all gray, it is probably a year ago, because your hair grows half an inch after a certain length a year or a month. So you can kind of tell when that problem happened with them. Let's see. Oh, you're my little poop, Josh. You're my little poop. How you doing? Both nail polish and that kind of remover gives me super bad headaches. Oh, it's the yeah, it's too bad for your spirit. It's the, and it may be if you do your carnivore and you get past it over a certain amount of time, your body will be strong enough to fight that off. I'll try to think what that chemical is. Can't think of it, but they use it as a paint remover. And that's probably what's causing the problem. But a lot of things that you do, you get your body healthy enough and it's able to fight off the toxins. Right now, you're probably toxic overload. So when you do things, I'm surprised I hardly ever get headaches, but I'm surprised that I'm able to use this but my body's probably got some aspects that are getting better after all these years of keto and stuff. Yeah, it's acetone. You're probably sensitive to acetone. And if you do carnivore or keto long enough, that sensitivity might go away. But yeah, so it's a good thing to know about, to figure out what your sensitivities are. Like I would write that down in my little diary if I was going to do carnivore and I was you. I'd write down, can't use nail polish, can't use remover, gives me headache. Anything else like that, write it down. Carnivores only poop 1 or 3 times or 4 times a week, since all the nutrients get absorbed by the body. That's true, very efficient. Doesn't the Bible refer to gray-haired men wise with experience? Yeah. It also says you can't change the color of your hair. I think it means from the inside. You can't will yourself to have gray hair or black hair or whatever. Same as your eye color. You can't think it. You can't think those colors into your body. Well, are all gray-haired men wise? Probably not. Well, look at Biden. I guess that's a textbook case. There are exceptions to things, but yeah. I have a chair pad on my chair in case Post-its on it. Anyway, yeah. So what else have I noticed? It is nice not craving sweets or craving food. Yes, I think Josh is cheating. Yeah, you can see my hair in the back, how wavy it was. I don't know what that was. It was wavy in school, but it was like big wave. It was just like a really big wave. But now I've got a bunch of little waves. I expect those to go away, almost like poodle hair. Yeah. Anyway, so let me think what else. What else have I noticed? I'll tell you though, when you heal when you sleep. So being able to sleep, I think, is a really good side effect of the carnivore thing. Like I keep waking up at 5 o'clock. I don't know why. Something is waking me up, and sometimes it's 6 too. It's got to be the neighbors starting up their car or something. I'll wake up at 5, look over at the clock. Oh, it's only 5. I got 3 hours left to sleep. I'll go back to sleep. An hour later, it's like, oh, it's 6. Why am I waking up? Go right back to sleep. I'm able to go back to sleep, where before I could never do that. I can't just lay there and say, okay, not an issue, and then just tip over. It's really interesting that I can do that now. I've never been able to do that before. So you do heal and you do lose weight when you sleep. If you're going to be losing weight, it's when you're sleeping. You can go out and run a mile and come back in. Other than lost sweat, you're not going to lose any weight. It's at night your body's metabolism kicks in. Let me see. I think today is the 21st, which technically there are 2 days that are the longest day of the year. The equinox is the 21st, 20th and 21st this year. So yeah, kind of the longest day. So I was sad because it means it's going to start getting dark again, which I hate. I hate winter. Hate winter. So yeah, this is my 10th week. What did I say? Yeah, 10th week. This is my 10th week. So hopefully next week, let's keep our fingers crossed, I start losing weight next week. Because then I'll know that my body's starting to heal up and get things motivated. But I'm not expecting it. Oh, that was the clock that took over. I'm not 100% expecting it because, like I said, it took 5 months. It was in my 5th month of keto that I finally started dropping weight. Where everybody else, they get on it, and boom, they're losing weight here and they're losing weight there, and they're feeling great, and they got a energy. I don't have that. It's like, well, the other day I sat down and I thought, oh, I want to go outside and do something, but I can't remember. I didn't. I think it was too cold or something was happening. I didn't want to go outside. I sat down in my chair. I thought, oh, I feel like doing something, but there's nothing I can do outside. So I wanted to get stuff done outside. Well, that's good. That means my metabolism might be kicking in. So maybe the 10.5 week thing is going to be the thing. In the very beginning of going carnivore, some people will have disaster pants. Now you tell me. Your body does this anytime you change your diet, not just carnivore. It usually stops around 2 weeks. And I never had the problem. Of course, like I said, I was keto first. And I didn't have the problem with keto either. The main problem I had was using erythritol or I can't remember the other one. But if I drank it in tea, because I drink a lot of tea. I haven't started my tea thing yet. I'll be phasing off of coffee here anytime. But I would put it in tea, a teaspoon of it, and it would clean me out. Oh my gosh, like a white torrent, just that little bit. So I always had to be close to a bathroom if I forgot and didn't eat some. But if I had something with it, if I had I don't know, a piece of bacon or anything like that, it wouldn't do it. The solid food seems to absorb the ill effects. But carnivore, huh? Yes, I'm glad I didn't experience that. Disaster pants. That's a good name for it. It's good for people to know that, because if they get on it and they have to go to work or meet somebody, it's good that they know that that's a possibility. But from what I'm finding is people, because they're eating so much more fat than they used to, your fat intake increases, and that a lot of times will make you kind of runny, I guess. I haven't had that problem. I've had a lot of digestive issues over my life. I've had ulcers. I had ulcers when I was 6. Had ulcers and all kinds of bad digestion issues. That's all tied into the chronic stress, which kills off the gut bugs you need. And when I did start this carnivore, 2 weeks before, I was working, maybe a little bit 3 weeks, I was working on fixing my digestion. And I think that was why because at the time I wasn't really thinking about doing carnivore. I mean, it kind of crossed my mind. I was like, yeah, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. I can't just meat. Couldn't do that. I like meat, but I thought that's like eating just pickles for the rest of your life, right? This is not appealing. But I was working on my digestion because I knew it was bad. That was kind of like, okay, yes, I know for a fact I've got bad digestion, so I'm going to work on that. So I started looking into taking, again, the gut bugs, the healthy gut bugs, because I knew I'd lost a lot of mine because I'd had surgery back in the 90s. So I knew that all of them were dead from the antibiotics they gave me. Plus, I've had enough dental work that would have killed them too. And I found out stress also causes them to die off. So I looked into it. I found a video about the El yogurt. And they said, technically it's not yogurt because to be the label yogurt means it has to be made with lactobacillus. This is just a different gut bug. So the FDA and all their wisdom, it tastes like yogurt, looks like yogurt, yeah, make it like yogurt because it's just got a different bug in it. And they said that if you were not breastfed, you don't have this in your system. It comes from mother's milk. Well, I wasn't breastfed. I was allergic to milk. So I never had this in my system ever. So that's the first thing I did before I started carnivore was I started making the elderberry. Excuse me. They call it cultured milk. It's cultured milk. Made the yogurt stuff with it. I started using that and I noticed an improvement in myself. Now, not everybody's going to notice that if they've already got it in their system, but I didn't have it. So I did notice a difference, a pretty substantial difference actually in mood. Definitely in mood. Anger management. Yeah, I used to have real bad bouts of temper and stuff, and it's helped me a lot with that. It's kind of a even keel thing. And then the Elgasserai also is another bug that doesn't stay in the body, but it helps. It's kind of like synergistically works with the elderberry. So I was working on getting my gut bugs in order, and that's when I broke the dairy thing because I made a bunch of it and didn't want to get moldy and go to waste. So I did have some of that. So okay, I'm halfway through carnivore, the 3-month thing. I think I'll have a little bit. So I had like a cup of it, and just to help get the digestion, make sure that it was in there. My gut was destroyed. So it took me 13 months to get rid of the zest. Oh my gosh, Jill, are you kidding? 13 months? Oh, you poor thing. Boy, yeah, I'm glad I never got that. But anyway, yeah, the elderberry and gastri, I make it at home. When I start, well, technically it is carnivore because it is an animal product. It's made with, if you do make this stuff, I've made it with whole milk, which I had to extra pasteurize. That's the ultra pasteurized. And the stuff I bought, I couldn't find any ultra pasteurized. So I had to pasteurize it myself. And it made it kind of it wasn't like a nice custardy yogurt, made more of a kind of a runny and it had the whey had separated and all that stuff. So I bought some half and half. Even though I put cream in with it, it still was doing that. I bought half and half and made it with that. Beautiful. I made a beautiful yogurt. So once I get off of the 3 months, I might do 4. I don't know. I gotta see how it goes. I might have to cut out dairy again. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It didn't seem to make a difference for me. But I'll go. Let's see. Like I said, I've got 3 weeks left before I'm done with the 90 days. It's a good enough improvement that most people I think that I've seen online say, well, I just decided to do it for a month, but I felt so good I kept doing it. Or I decided to do the 90 days and I felt so good. I think they're like me. You don't want to go back to feeling like crap again. You don't want to go back to eating Thanksgiving dinner and sleeping the rest of the day away because your body's all messing with the carbs and stuff and you feel like crap. And there are a lot of carnivore things that you can make that aren't like I'm on the basic 90-day thing. So it's kind of strict, but once you get off of that, you've got your dairy that if you can tolerate it, that you can use. I'm curious to see if I can tolerate it or not, where I was allergic to it as a kid. But I seem to be okay. We'll see. I got to find out if it was the olive oil or the cream cheese that is causing a little, not a lot, just a tiny little, one little spike of ouch here this morning. And I haven't tried to think last time I had any cream cheese. It's been a long time ago. Probably before, right? Probably the first week I started carnivore, maybe then or before. But anyway, yeah, once you get past that strict part of carnivore and you can do pull in your dairy and stuff with it, then you have a lot more options. Like I can make macaroni and cheese. Things are good food. It tastes good. It might not taste exactly the same, but it's good, just as good, just a little different texture. So doing this, it's doable. I didn't think it would be, but I kept seeing carnivore bread popping up. I've tasted keto bread. It's not the same thing. But it's a nice vehicle to put meat in and eat, but that's kind of interesting. Yeah, your gut was destroyed and you're feeding that my nose is everything itching all of a sudden. When you've got a bad gut biome, you've got you're not going to digest your food properly, so you're not getting all the nutrients out. And that's a kind of a cascading failure system because you don't have the building blocks you need to make yourself healthy again. It's a bad deal. So anyway, yeah, when I'm once I'm past the 90 days, I'll be making the yogurt again. Yes, Jill did the lion diet. Oh, I don't think I could have done it if I had to do the lion diet. Yeah, and the lion diet is just meat and water. Oh, I was having conniption fits a week and a half ago just because I was thinking I'd have to go off of I'd have to eat. I was sick of eating. I didn't want to eat anymore. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was sick of it. It's like, and when I woke up in the middle of the night, it was a fat thing. I didn't want to eat any more fat. I was like, oh, I can't eat anymore. But it was in the middle of the night. By the next morning, I was fine. It was really weird. So my body was processing something. I didn't like what it was doing, or I don't know, my body's saying, it's crying. But yeah, so I was just like, I don't have the meat aversion. I didn't really have it. I just got sick of eating, period. Like I said, I don't like to eat. Never have liked to eat. Some foods taste good and you like eating them, but it's just the act of eating has always annoyed me. So eating enough at one time for the calories is hard for me. Oh wow, children's carnivore books, nice. Some people do eat raw meat. Lion's diet is basically whatever a lion would eat, which is just me. Oh, I got my book here. Highly recommend. I keep recommending her book every week. Carnivore in the Kitchen, Courtney Luna. I got this on Amazon for like 13 or 14 bucks. Piggy bites. Piggy bites. Yeah, if you can't have yeah, look at there's a animal-based kids food. There's a pizza. If you can't have dairy, it makes it very restrictive. Okay, let's see. I'll tell you exactly what she has for lion, because she describes all of the different types. I will say that I don't agree. There we go. Lion diet, only meats and fats from ruminant animals plus salt. And that's what Ferrigno, I'm trying to think of his first name, Dante Ferrigno does or did for I think the first year or two was a lion diet. So its examples of ruminant meats are beef, bison, lamb, goat, and venison. The stricter version of carnivore is a great place to start if you are looking to use it as an elimination diet, which means you want to eliminate everything but those meats and then start incorporating something in that you like, say cheese. See how your body does if you had a piece of cheese. Is it going to rebel and say hives or maybe joint pain? You look, and when you do this, you get very tuned in with how your body's feeling with specific foods. You figure, like my joint, that one little pinpoint of pain in my thumb, I wouldn't even have noticed 6 months ago. Wouldn't have thought about it. But because I haven't had pain for so long, when I felt it, it's like, oh, something's going on there. It's really good for figuring things out like that. After a period of eating a lion diet, you can try slowly adding other foods back in if you wish. But yeah, so she tells you what all the different kinds are. I'm a relaxed version of lion now because I eat butter. Yeah, see, they don't eat butter. Most people still eat butter. Some people, I guess, can't. I'm glad I can. I don't eat a lot of it anymore. I did with the first month and a half, but I've kind of slowed back on that. Like if I have a steak, I'm not putting it on the steak every time, just once in a while. I'll put like a 2 because I need the fat. I'm trying to build, make sure I get enough fat in my diet. Because I'm happy. I could just have a chicken thigh, skin or not, eat that and I'm done. That's my supper. I mean, that's not enough. And I need the fats. I'm not getting enough fat in. So I'll like coat it with butter and then some pepper. I put a lot of people that do carnivore will do this as an exception. They will use hot sauce. Chula hot sauce is what I use, and they'll just put a little thin layer on there. Sometimes I don't. Like yesterday, I just used the butter or the mayonnaise stuff I made. That's what I had because the chicken is so plain by itself. So I took it and was eating a little bit of mayonnaise with that. So I'm going to try that again. I got one thigh left and see if I have any more pain. If I don't, I'm hoping not, because it'd be nice if it was a real olive oil, which is not carnivore, and I know that. But in order to eat the food I've got to eat for the next 3 weeks, I've got to make it so that I can eat it. So that, well, the bacon mayonnaise is really good, but it's very rich and it's hard for me to eat a lot of it. And I need more than what I'm getting. So I need to boost up my, yes, butter's a good way to repair female hormones for sure. The high fat content is a good way to repair. And I've had bad hormones my whole life. I talked about that earlier. You need the fat helps with the hormones. So yeah, so the butter's nice. It's I chop up steak and have a little like a little bead, probably the size of a pea, on each little piece of beef that I ate, and get my butter in that way. But I put like 2 tablespoons on my plate, and then just take a little bit on my fork, and then grab a piece of meat and eat it. And it tastes really good. It's really actually quite good. I don't do I miss having 57 sauce or ketchup? Not really, not like I did earlier, just as a taste a variety type thing. Now it's kind of like, yeah, I like the butter enough. I'm good with butter on my meat, not an issue. But well, hopefully someday. Yeah, well, that's an estrogen thing. Remember the estrogen and and it helps, I think, with the insulin resistance stuff. So yeah, I'm not really stressed out about anything. I'm not. My body's not in pain. I'm not super hot. I'm not because I'm trying to figure out what is the stressor that I've got that may be stimulating insulin. I can't figure out what it would be because I don't have anything really going on. So it might just be a stubborn thing. We'll see. It might take, like I said, it might take me 5 months before I kick in. Oh, it's Free Spirit. I get mine at Costco. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if my sensitivity to salt has increased or not. I'm not sure because your sensitivity to sugar sure will within the first week or two. Well, I came from keto, but I'm hearing other people say that their desire for sugar plummeted. The taste, it doesn't even taste the same. Not that I'm eating sugar, I'm eating sweet. Like the allulose, to me, it has a funny taste now, and it didn't before. So my sensitivity, your tongue will definitely, your tastes are going to change on this, which is a handy thing to know because you won't always be craving. If you're used to eating milk duds or caramel corn or something like that, you're going to get to the point where it's like, yeah, I have a good memory for taste, really good. I have like a photographic memory for taste, and I'll sit there and think about, yeah, it was okay, but I don't really want it. And it helps with temptation. Like if you're with people out eating dinner and you just get, say you get a prime rib, and there's salad that other people have, or the garlic bread or whatever. You think garlic bread, yeah, yeah. I after just what 2.5 months, I'm good. I don't think I'd have a problem. I can go to the grocery store and look at food, go by the bakery and look at stuff that normally I might have been tempted by before. And it's like, I don't really want it. It's not worth it to me either. I mean, you have to weigh the cost of eating something like that too. Yeah, so your body needs more fat to lose weight, and butter is a great source of fat. What I'll do is I'm saving my steak drippings because I do have a fatty. I use the chuck roast, which is a very fatty cut of meat, which you want to buy fatty cuts of meat, best kind. And I only half cook my bacon. My bacon is slightly browned so that the fat's still there. And I always like bacon like that anyway, but this is even a little bit less cooked than I usually eat, so I get as much fat from the bacon as possible. But I'll flip it, like it'll be lightly brown, and that's when I eat my bacon. It's cooked. I just want to make sure it's cooked. And but with the meat, like the steak drippings, I will drain. I have a non-stick pan. I just tip it on its side till it cools, and I'll take a spatula and scrape out the beef. It'll have chunks of stuff like whatever in there, and I'll put it in a tin can, put the lid on it. I've got one of those little can openers that you can reseal the lid on. And when it gets so full, I'll warm it up in a pan and then take a strainer and pour it through the strainer and get all the bits and stuff out. But I use that fat from the steak to put in the pan to cook more steak with. And the same with bacon. I keep bacon drippings separately. So if I want to do something in bacon, like fry eggs or something, but generally my eggs I cook in butter. But yeah, the fat's good. I have a photographic memory of all food. Free spirit. I can sit here and think about like German chocolate cake, which I haven't had in probably 30 years. And I know exactly what it tastes like, the texture, everything. I can just sit there and think about it. Now, what I'm worried about, because I just thought about it and the brain doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. I'm wondering if that's going to spike my insulin. I'll bet it does. Just the thought of it may spike my insulin. So I got to quit thinking about I'm not that I think about it all the time, but just thinking about it just now to think about what I haven't had for years. I can think about like deviled eggs. Any food will spike your insulin. Any food in your mouth will spike your insulin. I believe thoughts of it will too. So, but like a boiled egg or a deviled egg, thinking about that, I can tell you exactly the texture, what it tastes like, what things are in that particular whatever. That probably spiked my insulin a little bit. If you can do dairy, Bella, the steak and butter gal, has some great. The one thing I don't like about her stuff is there's no salt. You have to remember to use salt in her recipes because she doesn't use any salt. When I made the macaroni and cheese recipe that she had, it was very bland. And because I almost added salt to it, and I thought, well, the cheese sauce might be enough, but no, it was. Just remember, if you use the recipes, you might need some salt with it. But she has really good recipes, and if you're good at, like I always tweak things. I've always been like that. It's like, what's this going to take? So I'll do things. So yeah, just remember. Let's see. She has a lot of great videos showing how she makes it. Yeah, she has Bella steak and butter gal. Really good stuff. Can you have sausage on keto? Yes. But you have to make sure you read the label that it doesn't have. There's always a trace of sugar in it, but you're going to look for other. I bought pork loin at Costco, 2 big ones. I cut one up into big steak or big things like that. But I'm going to make my own sausage with. I like sausage patties. I never was a big fan of links anyway, but I'm going to make my own sausage patties with it. So I have a food grinder on my on my KitchenAid. I'm just going to grind it up and make the ground pork and I can add allulose if I need a little bit of sweetener to it. And the allulose will help it brown too. But I'm going to use seasoning, sausage seasoning in it. I like the Jimmy Dean stage stuff. So instead of finding it, it's easier for me to just make it. And then like the other day I bought Costco. I told you guys about this before. I bought Costco frozen hamburger patties, which actually were cheaper than to buy the big things of hamburger. Don't know why, but their hamburger is only 90-20 or 90-10. They didn't have any 80-20, 80% meat, 20% fat. They didn't have it, which is fine. I just know to use more fat on it when I cook it, but I didn't like the taste of the frozen hamburger patties, and my ex said the same thing. He says they taste like crap. I don't know what they did to them, what kind of meat it is, but it was absolutely horrendous. I'll never buy those again. I saved the bag though for when I made my hamburger patties. And I just got a little $1.25 hamburger press. It's plastic, a piece of junk plastic. And I would take a ball of hamburger, probably about that big, put it in the press and push it down, wiggle it really good, and pop it out. There's my hamburger patties. And the hamburger plat that I got was $30 for the hamburger, for the big thing of hamburger. And I think I got 18 patties out of it, and they're thick. They're big hamburger patties. Probably half pound, quarter pound, I don't know. Quarter pound probably. But you can make them as thick as you want or thin. And I just took parchment paper, put between the layers. So you can make as many or a few as you want with that. And it's good. It's good hamburger. And they tasted great. I just have them all stacked in the freezer in a tight plastic bag, and I'll pull them out. Like that's probably what I'll have for lunch today is a hamburger patty. Let's see. I know this is wrong, but I would fry my sausage like hamburger, and I would put onion in it, as my mom used to do that. Onion in it, the frying, and then drain it and put it in a bowl. Put mozzarella cheese all over the top in a microwave. Well, you know what? That is a little bit of onion is keto if you don't go too crazy with it, because onion does have a lot of sugar and so does tomato. But you can, as long as it don't go over 20 carbs a day, it's not gonna, I mean, it's still keto. It's a keto way of eating. You just have to know how many, like if you use a tablespoon of onion. My mom and dad used to put onions in a hamburger. I absolutely detested it. I don't like my food mixed up. I don't like, it's like, why is that in there? I'd rather have it separate. I'm a weirdo like that. But no, they used to always put chopped up onion. They loved onion. Put the onion in the hamburgers and fry it up. So yeah, I just like pulling the hamburger out. I defrost it in the microwave. If I forget to take it out, I'll just defrost it in there. And then lop it. I'll put some of the either bacon grease or steak grease in the pan, or sometimes butter, and fry it up in there. And I don't measure, I don't weigh, because I was weighing my stuff. I still weigh my food so I know how much I'm eating. So I have a problem with under eating. If you're not under eating, or unless you're way overeating and you know you like you just love to eat and you eat a lot at one sitting, that might be when you want to use a scale. But I do use my scale to see how many calories I'm pulling in, because I don't want to go too low. And I do tend to go too low. So with the hamburger, I'll fry it up and then I'll put it on my plate. I'll put it on the scale and put it on there and see how much I'm eating. Because sometimes, like with steak, uncooked weight, it can be 11 ounces, and cooked weight, it will be like 7. So it loses a lot of weight. Onion was a depression food. Onion sandwich. Almost made me vomit. My mom and dad would eat onion. They loved onion sandwiches. Ugh. Raw onion, I very sulfur in it, I think. I'm really sensitive to sulfur, and I can't stand raw onions. When I was a kid, I used to gag if I smelled raw onion. I literally gag. It's something I've had lifelong. I don't know why. But my mom and dad loved them, and then they breathe on me. It's horrible. Not an onion girl. It was poor people food. It's always been garlic and onion. Although remember when the Hebrews left Egypt, they missed their onions and their garlic. They liked that stuff. I'd have been fine. I'd have been right there on that trail going, you leave your onions and garlic behind. That's not going to bother me a bit. Yeah, they like, I know my neighbor, she was, gosh, she'd probably be 100 and some years old now. She made me cucumber sandwiches once. And those were actually it was just butter. It was bread with butter on it and sliced cucumbers. And I remember telling her, that doesn't sound very good. Anyway, she had me eat one. It's like, wow, that's really, and that used to be like in the 1800s when they'd have garden parties and stuff, fancy like teas and stuff. Cucumber sandwiches were a thing. So interesting. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what else have I got to talk about, you guys. What have I got to talk about? For now, it'd be nice to get on here and see that this all disappears. The jowlies, back to jowlies and the dirt. That's something. If you see somebody that's got the lines coming down from their mouth like that, see how mine are? That's not just fat. That is a symptom of hypothyroidism, which I know I have. I've had it since I was a kid, little kid. But these lines coming down. So you see somebody with that, pretty good guess. Cooked spinach made me barf as a kid. I loved it because Popeye ate it. I love spinach. So Popeye's favorite food. Made him strong. What an advertising gimmick, huh? You barfed all over your lunch tray at school. Do you love salt? Interesting. How's Black doing? He was in oh well, you and I were both in there, the live thing. Put it up on there. Yeah, a lot of these people, they get sponsors and they get a kickback, which is good. It's a good way to make money. Once they become an influencer, they can make a lot of money. So salty provisions. You know, when I first saw there was different kinds of salt, it was Suzanne Summers about 35 years ago. She was on QVC and she was hawking salt. She had like 5 different kinds of salt. And I thought, oh, what a bunch of nonsense. She was, this salt's so much better. And I thought, how a salt is salt. I remember thinking what a dork she was. And about, I don't know, maybe 10 years later, 5 years later, somehow, I don't know if I saw some sea salt, I saw Celtic salt and something else. And I thought, I'm going to get a little bit of that just to see, because I noticed that everybody was starting to get on the salt bandwagon. I thought, well, there must be something to it. So I bought it, and oh my gosh, did it ever make a big difference? When you're used to having vanilla and have never tasted chocolate or strawberry, you're not going to know. But when it was pretty impressive, the difference in flavor. Although between the Himalayan and the red ones, I noticed no difference. They taste the same to me. But oh, a woman-owned business, Midwest Made. I wonder if she lives near the salt mines. There's a lot of salt deposits back east. Stop our collection. Let's see what she's got. Oh, I want to make some of this stuff. I actually want to make some of these flavored salts. And I bet butter salt, you could make it with, you can buy butter powder from Augustin, and they have it at Walmart. A sampler. Oh, that's expensive. 44 bucks. Smoky mushroom. I love mushroom flavor. But I'll bet I could make, see, and I see stuff like this, I think I can make it because I've found so many things like my business that I can make. Hot salt. That's probably with cayenne pepper in there, a little bit of black pepper. Wonder if it might show what the ingredients are. She has a nice website. Okay. Inspired by a trip we took to the Deep South. It has salt, onion, garlic, cayenne, oregano, thyme, black pepper, chili flakes, paprika, parsley, mustard powder, basil, celery powder, chive, and lemon. Now, see, when you don't have a lot of money, this is what you do. You look at the ingredients and make it yourself. When you have a lot of money, you don't want to take the trouble. You just go buy it. See, if I was a millionaire, I'd be like, hey, I'll buy that sampler. That sounds kind of good. Butter salt. Let's see what's in the butter salt. Probably butter powder. Sea salt, grass-fed butter powder. Yep, exactly. It's butter powder. So it's just salt and butter powder. That's actually a good idea. Good for her. Norwegian. I watched how they made, I think it was Norwegian or maybe Celtic. No, it was a Celtic. They take the seawater and they just put it up in trays and they let the sun hit it and they shake it like people will shake the sea trays, and when it all evaporates off, there's salt underneath. Wanderlust. Double onion, roasted garlic. My mom would have loved that. Electrolyte, I already got that. Electrolyte broth. Zesty pickle. Ooh, I bet I like pickles, so most women like pickles. Lemon and dill, that'd be really good on seafood right there. Yum, yum. Well, it's got 51 products. That's awesome. Thank you for the link. I'm gonna win the lottery, and then I'm gonna be able to see, it would be under keto and recipes. There. Nice. Coffee salt. Wonder what you'd put that on. Coffee salt. Good question. I have a question. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so if you use LASH for your coupon code. All right, where to go? There it is. Then you get 10% off. Do you love salt.com? Yeah, salt is actually pretty good. You get when you taste a good salt, you'll know it. And it's like, yeah. And especially on steak, it gives it a little extra dimension. It makes your mouth water just thinking about it. Cooked spinach made you barf. I'll tell you what made me, I didn't barf, and I don't know why I didn't barf. But remember I told you how just smelling onion, even a light whiff of it, raw onion, I would start gagging. And I could taste it in my mouth and I could smell it in my nose. I could actually taste it on my tongue. Today, if I cut an onion, which I haven't done for several months, of course, but if I just touched a couple little pieces trying to push it onto a plate, the next day I would smell onion all over my body. And if I took a shower and dried off my towel, my washcloth from my face would all smell like onion. That's how weird my body is with, and it might be the sulfur in it. There's something in there I'm reacting to. Well, in school, they used to make the best sugar donuts. These were, they weren't cake donuts. They were that nice squishy bready stuff that stretched when you pulled it apart. And they'd be hot out of the cooker, and they dust them in sugar and stick them on our trays at school. Oh, so good. Well, they gave me mine, went out, and I took a bite out of it, and there was raw onion in it. And it was years before I could eat a donut again. Years, probably 15, 20 years. Of all the kids for that to happen to, that was the grossest. Oh, so bad. And my uncle, he told me that one of the homes he was at, he was kind of kooky. He said that they had a Russian that was a cook, and she used to put raw onions in the Jello. Just threw up thinking about that. Garlic, parsley, salt. I like the parsley part. Yes, thank you for sharing, Jill. Thank you for sharing. I'm gonna make some of that. I'm gonna make some of that stuff. I don't have money right now. I want to win the lottery so I can do all that stuff. If I win the lottery, I could get a babysitter for Haas and I could travel around to some of these meetups. Oh, so what are you doing on his website? Are you actually making it from the ground up? Thank you for that link, by the way. I was wanting to see it. Oh, that's pretty. Carnivore Healing Retreat. Oh, look at the products. Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. That's a good one. I like the one. I actually love it. I'm gonna buy one of these things to make t-shirts, and it makes mugs too. It's not super expensive for an outlay, but I like the shirt that says nobody is coming to help you. That is it sounds kind of depressing when you think about it, but no, it's not what it's about. It's about you are in control of everything. You need to help yourself. Don't expect somebody else to do it for you. Nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's going to say, they're not going to reach in your mouth and pull that cookie out. That's up to you to never get it near your mouth. You know what I mean? So anyway, yes, I love that. Nobody's coming to help you. I like the color scheme, Jill. That's really pretty. No, I'm not even sharing it. I thought I was sharing it. Sorry about that. Yes, let me go back up. Very pretty. Yes. Yes, he has. You know what? I'm wondering, I was starting to get the psoriatic arthritis in my joints, in my knees. I started having really bad problems with my knees. And I knew when I found out that psoriasis could actually get into the joints, I knew what it was when I was getting it. In my hip, my right hip. Chronic pain, inflammation, sleeplessness, severe mental health struggle. Yeah, yep. Psoriasis is all part of that. Now, when you have low vitamin D3, and the carnivore helped him. My guess is it helped him to absorb the D3 because he's a sun baby. I think he likes to be out in the sun. And I think what the carnivore did was made his body able to process D3 or the D. He's able to convert the sun's rays to D. I got to the point where I couldn't do that. And I guess there are several, it's a known thing that you can't. I was starting to pass out in the sun. I couldn't take the sun anymore. And I did notice recently I had that problem when I was trying to get my lawnmower up on the trailer. I was having a hard time with the sun again, which was odd because I was probably a month and a half into carnivore at that time. Yeah, see, I still have the eczema. I think part of my scalp problem is eczema. I had that when I was a kid. I remember having it when I was like 12. Hormonally, I don't remember having it younger than, I guess it was more older than that, maybe 15. I don't remember having it before, but I remember having it after. Yes, depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts all come from low D3 also, or low D. Oh, that looks so good. See those big chunks of salt on there? Yum, yum. Nice. Nice. Very good job. Oh, you made it with Wix. Yes, I love Wix. That's how I made mine. As a matter of fact, I was going to ask you, Wix, if you guys need a website, Wix is an awesome resource, excuse me. Awesome resource. Oops, wrong one. That's not it either. There it is. I keep missing one. Oh, well, Lash is an interesting specimen too. It was fun watching him on the videos. Yes. Oh, I need to, where's his site? I need to, oh, there it is. I need to Mark. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Yes, thank you for doing that. Very nice. Yeah, he's a neat guy, a very interesting guy. Yeah, yeah. Does he own his? Yeah, he has to. He owns his URL. Yeehaw. So let's see. I've been on for 106, about an hour and a half. Hour and a half. I thought about going on Wednesday. I don't know why I didn't. I don't know if Saturday's even a good day for this, but just good for me to know. Oh, does show? Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. I didn't go all the way through his site. Oh, load more. Yeah. Is that just for the? Oh, that's for the t-shirts and stuff. I am the data. That's a good one. Yes, I was talking about the retreat. It's like the links. Wix, I've been having problems. Oh, they're moving. I didn't see them moving before. I've been having problems with Wix changing things on my website, but my website's about 6 years old. So I'm gonna have to revamp the whole thing. Here, maybe that's why. Menu, here we go. Photos. Yeah, his photos are pretty impressive. See, if I don't use the scrub, this is what I look like all over my body though. I had it all over my arms and legs, up my neck. My face was the last spot that was not turning red, that my whole body. But I would take those scrubby mitts and scrub the living daylights out of my skin to scrape all that skin off. So generally it looked like this. And this is kind of what that's what the insulin resistance looks like. It was around my belly button. That's why I thought it was psoriasis, because I had it around my belly and around my neck and around my armpits, around my ears. But yeah, look at him now. Amazing. And all that sun he's getting is going to help keep this stuff away. I think the carnivore got rid of the chemicals that were blocking his access. I do think that sugar, I can figure I was getting bit by mosquitoes and bees. Things were attracted to biting me. And it's because the sugar, my skin is exuding sugar from the high insulin. Pretty amazing. How long did it take him to get completely cleaned up? Look at that. Isn't that what a horrible thing to have to live with? Mine didn't hurt, but mine never got bloody. Well, a little bit, a couple of times when I didn't scrub it off good enough. Because in the shower I would scrub the chickens out of it. Yeah, see, mine would look like this right here after I scrubbed it. So I never got the scaly stuff on top. I made sure I didn't get the white skin, because that's just layer after layer after layer of skin. Yeah, so this is what it started out like. I would get, like on my forearm, I would get a little bit of a rash when I took a shower. I get out of the shower, and within a couple hours, it looked like this. And it happened so fast. It happened over maybe a month's time. It was just all over my body. And that's severe D3, lack of D3. Yeah. See, because this is what it looked like after 24 hours. I would get the white patch, the dead skin. But it would be complete. I wouldn't have any white skin. It would be all totally swelled, just be raised welt of red. Yep, he healed up really good. And he lives in Southern California, so he should, you'd think he probably lost the ability to convert vitamin D, the sun into vitamin D. And that's why living there, he still got this. He shouldn't have, but it's a conversion issue, probably from the food he was eating. And I think that's with me, even though I wasn't eating a lot of stuff with sugar or like bread, I could have some bread. The bread was enough and the bromine probably in it. I was just getting, after so many years, getting more sensitive to it. See, he's got a YouTube channel. Oh, Ferrigno Freedom, yeah. He's the first guy when I was listening to was Dante. For guys, I think that I think Dante is very inspiring for guys to start. This Sean Baker guy. It's like a big old football player, dude. Very cool. Thanks. Yeah, it's a good site. I like what you're doing, Jill. It's nice and easy to. The only thing I might say to you, and I only say this because people said it to me, is to have a menu bar up here that has all of this stuff at the top. So people can just, otherwise they're going to be looking around and maybe not find it. I had to be redundant with mine. I had to have a menu bar here and I had to have one here. And I think I've got one at the left side of the page. Plus I have links on every single thing. I have a link to, like, the donate button has a link, the splash screen has a link to the shop, because I sell stuff. That's my thing. But yes, I like it. It's very easy to navigate. It's very clean. This reminds me so much of Hawaii. Very nice. And I love these slides where you've got the video plus. Very cool. Yeah, you did a great job, Jill. Kudos to you, my dear. Yes, very nice. Love, 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 love. Yeah. Let's see. Using Wix, and he started the home page, and I've added all the other page. Yeah, you did a great job. Both of you. Tell him I said great job. Because it's Wix makes it pretty easy, but it's still complex. I mean, there's a bit of a learning curve to it. It's kind of, and I ended up doing too many things the wrong way, and then I've got this big messy site of that. I'm just going to redo them. I'm going to make a whole new website and then just transfer everything over to it. Because it's such a mess right now. A cat can stay by themselves for 2 or 3 days. Yeah, a dog could too if you give it enough food and water and a dog door. Look at the menu items. Yes, that steak. Oh, it makes me hungry just looking at it. He's a sun baby. See, that's why I think that he had developed some kind of a block, and it could be from be interesting to find out what food he was eating and get, if we, as a research thing, find out a common thread with people that got psoriasis and what foods they were eating, because I think it's the food and not the food so much as the toxins that they spray on it that block the body's ability to absorb the vitamin D. And I don't think that's by accident. I think they do it on purpose, because if you have psoriasis long enough, like he had and like I had, you will get aneurysms, and an aneurysm will kill you. And when I found that out, I was pretty worked up. It took me a while to figure out what it even was, because at first I thought, is it shingles? What the heck? And I realized no, shingles is only on one half of the body, which I find fascinating in itself. It took me a little while to narrow it down what exactly it was, but once I figured it out, I got pictures and it's like, yep, that's what I got. And I knew for a fact that's what it was. And then I could start working on how to get rid of it. And the doctor was saying, well, there is no cure for psoriasis, but we don't know what causes it. But we do know that vitamin D cream seems to alleviate a little bit. And I thought, oh, there's my answer right there. So I typed in vitamin D and psoriasis, and boom. There was a doctor in Brazil doing experiments and found the cure. So, and I tried it. It took me about, it wasn't 3 months. I still had it pretty strong at 3 months. I think it was 6 months of taking 36,000 units of D3 before I started noticing. Most of her patients, they were all cleared up by 6 months, but for some reason it took me, and he used 36,000 units a day. For some reason it took me longer, but when it went away, finally it went away pretty quickly. Let's see. About 9 months. They don't want us to have sunshine. Nope, no red meat, no eggs, no, but that's right. All the things that we know, and people are waking up to that. They're starting to find out these things are healing them. And the food pyramid made in the 60s or 70s was designed to make us sick. He suffered from childhood. I have a hunch that he had some kind of whatever he was raised on. It might have been an environmental toxin or something where he lived. Whatever it was, it made him incapable. Because you think about kids, they're always out in the sun, especially his age. He would have been outside probably on the beach or at the pool or skateboarding or whatever, he's the right age that he would have been outside all the time, and he wasn't converting the D or the sun into D. Yes, yeah. That's the only thing I think, just because you want to make it as easy as possible for people to find their way around. And I think the menu bar, and they have really pretty ones. I mean, you can make it look like it's like part of the decoration too. Yeah, navigation sucks. It takes a while. Once you get it figured out, though, it'll be really second nature. Yep, sugar. I think it's kids, Joel. Think about all the sugar kids pump down. My mom wouldn't let us have sugar. Yep, toxins destroy gut health. And you know what? Uh, Roundup destroys good bacteria, but it doesn't destroy bad bacteria. Roundup is an antibacterial type agent. So what happens when you eat food that's got Roundup on it? It kills all the good digestive bugs. He had an abusive childhood also. There you go. So he's had chronic stress also, like I have. And he was probably more sensitive. He appears to me to be a more sensitive type person. I never thought of myself as being that way, but looking back on it, I was. Things affected me differently than it did other people. Like my sisters never. You know what though? Sugar has been a staple for millennia. Remember that we have our sugar supply is sugar beets and corn. And guess what they're doing to corn? It's GMO, it's modified, and it's sprayed with Roundup. Sugar beets are grown in dirt that is just soaked in glyphosate. Even our sugar cane, they stopped making it in Hawaii. Now it's made in, I think, Puerto Rico, and it's also got problems. So our sugar supplies have been adulterated just like everything else. Because I remember reading, there's pictures, people in the Time Life Old West books, people had donuts for breakfast. Laura Ingalls Wilder, when they went to his dad or her dad went to town, he would get flour and sugar. He'd go to town and pick that up and bring back flour. So they ate sugar, they ate flour, but it's not the garbage we got now because of the both poisons they put on it. It's very sensitive, but not has a heart of gold, and its mission to build this retreat to help others who are suffering. Well, see right there. He's a helper. He's a helper dude. He wants people to be healthy, and I'm the same way. I have a feeling there is a personality thing. He might even be an ESTP, personality issue with people that get psoriasis beyond. I think that the childhood abuse is a huge part of it. Yes, exactly. Free spirit. And it's coming from Satan. That's orchestrated destruction. Who wants us dead? Satan wants to kill everybody. You read the Bible, you read Revelation. Remember what happens during the tribulation is the first wave of death is from starvation, from famine, from death, from beasts of the earth, and there was one other thing. And there's another wave. It's a bowl judgment, I think a vile judgment or something. And these massive amounts of people die, but starvation is one of the ways. And so they know, they read the Bible, Satanists know the Bible. And so they're destroying the food supplies on purpose. Right? It's like Bill Gates buying up farmland. Look, it's like China buying up farmland. They know. And Satan's ultimate goal is to kill everyone. But the nitwits like Gates and Schwab think that they're at the top of the heap and Satan would never do that to them. Well, the Bible says if Jesus didn't return at the end of the tribulation, when he does, there'd be no flesh saved. Satan's going to kill everybody if he gets his ability to do that. Yes, donations are greatly appreciated. Yeah, so I'm glad that he's doing that. So I think that there's a common thread with people like that, Jill. I really do, because some people like I do believe that chronic stress is part and parcel of lipedema, because not everybody gets it, but people I know that have it have been under severe stress for many years, and as children. So yes, I do believe that that's a big part of it, and that's why they can't find the missing link is not behavioral, it is experiential. Okay, what have I got? Oh, looking at my thingy here. So What time is it? 2 o'clock already. I've been on for 2 hours. Goodness sakes, flapping my jaws. Well, it's been fun. It's this, like I said, this is my diary. This is my, instead of writing in one of these things, which I would never keep, and I know myself well enough at this age, I would never keep up with it. But I can show you that's still got, see the lumps? See all the, you can kind of see it in this light. The lumps there, that's all lipedema. See how it drops down. There's a little bit of a dent right there. I haven't been laying on a, I don't know what that's from. Maybe it's blown away. A long time ago, what, 8 years ago now? Oh, well, that's a good sign. I was bit by something, right? See if I can find the exact spot. Well, I can't, and that's a good thing because it's gone. 8 or 10 years ago, maybe even longer, I got bit by something here, here, and here. It was like in a line. And I had a bump here for years. I don't know what it was, but it was like a pimply thing, 3 in a row. And even into last summer, it's probably 15 years ago. There was, and I could actually run my finger over it, like the lipedema, and feel it. It's gone. So that's an improvement. I don't know when it happened. There might be a lit right here. It was right here. I can feel it. Tiny little bit there. Watch my finger. See that? It's still there, but not as bad. Because I used to be able to see it, and now I can't. So whatever toxins are in there, those are gone. But I do have, yes, I do have the lipedema, the happy lipedema, the ugly lipedema. See how it's floppy? Yes, and you can see the line here. It's a weird thing. It's like having an alien living on your body. Because really, I don't feel fat. And it's a weird thing because when you're fat, you know you're fat and you can feel it. But I don't feel, and I'm almost so shocked to look down and I've got a stomach. It's like, why is that there? It doesn't, it's weird. Like that. Well, I'm still anxious. I'm worried to some degree, a little bit, that this fat isn't going to go off even with the carnivore. But I'd like to get rid of all this crud here. I don't like going around people because I feel like a slob. So we'll see what happens. Another improvement. That's right. So it is. Thank you, Jill. Yeah, and that's the reason I'm doing the live streams. It's more for myself. It also help people if somebody comes along and wants to. They're so long. I should make them shorter, but I don't. So that people can look and see, because that's the improvement. That's a big improvement because whatever that toxin was in here, it's going away. It's like I said, there's still a bump there, little, but it's like it used to be. I could see it, and it's not. I'm wondering if I finally do start losing weight, if that will. I'm gonna pull it tight. I can kind of see a little bump there when I pull a certain way. But there was something in there. I don't know what it was they left, like alien. Maybe a little alien will pop out. But it's been there for years and years and years. And it was just like, it was almost like a mosquito bite, only big, like spider bite. I figured it was a spider bite. But whatever was in there, it hardened up. And there's a warm spot. I can feel it's still warm there. A little bit of a warm spot right here. But maybe that's because it's healing. Something I haven't said is I have been getting hot, not like right now I'm getting one. Not a hot flash, like a hot, I'm getting warm. I feel a little bit of a little moisture right there, sweat. But now I've been getting random hot flashes, which I assume are my hormones starting to kick in. They'll last, I'll turn my fan on here. They'll last maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I'll get maybe 2 or 3 a day. I just figure it's my metabolism kicking in because I haven't had a hot flash since I started keto 8 years ago. But they're coming back, so I'm assuming it's a healing thing from the fat I'm eating. So yeah, the fat thing, I'm trying to keep my fat up, which is I'm not doing very good. Yesterday, I think I had 58% fat calories. Excuse me. David, I try to keep it at least 70, but sometimes it's hard to get to sometimes. I wish I was your neighbor. Bo Ploney, he says that all. Oh yeah, I've heard of him and Billy Green. I've heard of them. I think I've seen them on YouTube. Bo Pony, yeah. Yep, I've seen them. Oh, they are normal? Good. Yeah, because I started getting hot flashes when I was 40. Like I said, I never had a normal period in my life. My hormones have never been normal, ever, ever, ever. Yeah, so B1 helps hot cold. Yeah, I take it. I do take the B1 and steak. Beef has a lot of B1 in it too. So you don't need to supplement as much when you take, and B1 also helps with congestive heart failure. If you're getting congestive heart failure, it's because you're low in B1. But I've noticed that people like Carrie from Healing Humanity, he said his congestive heart failure resolved when he went carnivore because beef has B1 in it. And so it gave him back what he needed. People, if you're on blood pressure medicine, or it's the same thing, things they use for edema, for water retention, it's a blood pressure pill that will take out all of your B1, and so start getting congestive heart failure. You find people that have blood pressure problems suddenly needing a what do you call it, pacemaker, because they get, what do you know, they have blood pressure problems, then suddenly they have congestive heart failure. It's from the medicine. You can also get hypothyroidism too. My dad got both from it. I looked it up, and they're both side effects of blood pressure medicine. So they get to make money giving you a pacemaker. It's like, it's time to eat. He wants his brushing, because I was brushing. He doesn't like me nothing with his tail. Anyway, I'm gonna have to get him fed. I found him out in the shop. I don't even know how he got in there. I can't figure out how. There's some place he got in that is big enough hole for that fat boy to get through. Opened up the shop door yesterday, and there he was. I was like, "How did you get in here?" It's food, and they're eating mice. There's a ton of mice out there, but I'm blowing snot all over me. Really? Yeah. Let's see. I have to take B12 shots once a month. Last summer, my levels got down. Yeah. B12 is hard. The shots are the easiest way to get it. Because B12 is a hard vitamin to absorb. You can get the under the tongue lozenges, but you only absorb so much of it. And I haven't ever taken B12 shots. I got some gummies before I got on carnivore. Managed to fit them into my keto regimen, but I don't like doing anything with sugar in it anymore. So, but for B12, you can get things you can put between your teeth and gum, and it's a slow release thing. But the shots are the easiest. If you go to the doctor a lot, just go get a shot. And they usually give you energy, because if you're low in B12, you'll be low in energy. Yeah, he likes flapping his tail in my face. So anyway, I think I'll turn you guys loose and get this fat boy some food, and hopefully, let's see, this is my 10th week. So like I said, maybe in a week and a half, maybe I'll start losing some weight finally. And if not, I'll just probably have to wait another month or so and see what happens. Because it might just end up aligning with like what keto did. It took me 5 months to start doing anything. We'll see. But hopefully, whatever it is, I hope my experience helps somebody out there to have patience. That's one thing I don't have is patience, but neither does Haas. That way, somebody might say, well, gosh dang it, I wish I could lose it right away like everybody, but I'm not one of those people. This tells me it's just for whatever reason, it's going to take a while. Maybe it'll make it harder for me to gain it back. How's that? That'd be a good deal. So anyway, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to cut you loose, and I will see y'all Saturday, God willing. Maybe I might get on in the middle of the week. If something big happens and I start losing weight or something, I will let you know if I have time. So, hey, everybody, I will see you next time, and thanks for being with me. I appreciate it, you guys. Much love to y'all. Might have to drop dairy again now that you're not eating so much. Yeah, I might. I thought about that. I might have to. I'm gonna eat it I've got a bunch of cream I bought. I got like $50 worth of cream. I hate wasting. I might make some ice cream with it and put it in the freezer. That way I don't have to lose it, because I hate throwing food away, and I don't know anybody that drinks. My sister doesn't touch cream, so, but I might do that. So anyway, toodles. Later, taters. Thanks for being